Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Guess what we're talking about today? More Scentsy.
Oh, shocker.
Obviously, there's been a lot going on with Scentsy behind the scenes as far as compensation plan changes and changes to pricing and all the things we've been covering here on my channel, and a lot of the other anti-MLM creators out there are also covering it. Something that draws me to want to react to it more often than not here on my channel is because I was in Scentsy for about 4 years. So it's something I feel very connected to. I feel like I know a lot of the people. Just, I guess it feels familiar to me is how you can put it. And so for those reasons, I guess, I just love reacting to Scentsy here on my channel. So in the past week, at the time that I'm recording this, after all of the changes have been rolled out and all of the things have been announced as far as pricing increases and commission decreases and things of that nature, one of the leaders at the tippy top that I have reacted to here on my channel many times in the past announced that she was leaving Scentsy. Now, you may be familiar with her. She is the individual that I refer to a lot as someone who went on a Facebook Live and told everybody that being broke is a choice.
Being broke is a choice. Being rich is a choice. It's all about what you will allow yourself to have.
By me not sharing this opportunity with someone, I'm almost robbing them of great potential joy, of potential great success, of community. I'm robbing them of personal growth. I'm robbing them of financial freedom. I'm robbing them of opportunity. And you know what? It's not fair for me to have this beautiful, magical, wonderful secret and not offer it to everyone around me and not share it with everyone around me.
Are you kidding me? I am aware that this individual did post a full video on her personal Facebook page of her announcing to her Scentsy team that she was leaving. I will not be showing that on my channel, nor will I be reacting to it. It was very clearly an emotional decision for her and her husband. And as I've said in the past, all people that join an MLM, that fall into an MLM, I look at them as victims. They are not the bad people in the MLM world, in my opinion. They are the people that have fallen victim to the predatory, disgusting, pyramid-like structure business model. And when they do that, they end up portraying the behaviors of said business model. And that is what we react to on my channel. Some of you probably have something to say about that. My comment section has been pretty shitty lately, I'm gonna be honest. But that's part of the game, you know? I'm not reacting to it here. I don't want to. I don't feel like it needs to be reacted to. And I feel like it would be a big, blatant slap in the face to her for no reason at all. However, we are going to talk about it, her leaving and the team that she left behind. She's not going to be much of the conversation at all because the person that took over, I believe, this leader invited Heidi and Orville, the founders of Scentsy, their mom and dad, if you will, into said Facebook group. They are answering questions that people are starting to ask, and it gets interesting. We're gonna get right the fuck into it, but first we need the disclaimer.
It's way too many ways to get rich. Just up what my initials were. Slim said that I can't miss alert. They got the crowd, I got the church. Open verse 2, come get the word, then hit the curve.
Well, it's good to be here. Heidi's finishing up another call, and hopefully she'll be able to join us. But she said to go ahead. And I can share just a few things for both of us, and particularly, first, just thank you for coming on and caring enough about your Scentsy business, your Scentsy journey, to come in and check in, to get a pulse point, to see what your new leaders are going to how they will be there for you and
your new leaders in your business.
It doesn't make much sense.
It's so comical.
I'm sure some of you are evaluating, is this, can I imagine Scentsy without Jennifer? And, you know, quite honestly, all of us are feeling that way because she had such a huge impact on our business, and we will love her and wish her the best for the rest of her life. It was sad that she left. For sure, it will be a big loss for us. We've had many great experiences all over the world with them, and we love them like friends, and we wish them the best. There's lots of reasons why people make these decisions. I'll let her explain why she did. So I'm not going to speculate on that. But one of the things in conversation with her last Friday after a Superstar Director call and with an exit interview that we do with everybody who leaves, we try to get an idea of what their reasons are and what we can do better as a company.
You do that with everybody that leaves, Orville? I don't recall ever having an exit interview. Do you have to be a superstar director, maybe? Any other Scentsy consultants that have left that had an exit interview? I would love to know how true that is, because this is the first I've ever heard of an exit interview, and I exited.
If it was indeed the company that was causing them to look elsewhere. One of the things that came up was some things that I had said that she said that many of her team were frustrated by. And, as I look at it, I completely understand how the things that I said were interpreted the way they were. But it shocked me because they were not close to the intent of my heart. And it makes me sad a little bit that something that I might say that can be misspoken or said insensitively could affect somebody's life to the point where things get turned upside down. Oh, here comes Heidi. Yay. Oh, that's okay. I'm just getting started.
I was?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'm just kind of explaining how in the exit interview and in my conversation with Jennifer, how some of the things that I have said have caused some concern. So,
Well, and she may have told some of you that.
well, you might have told her,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
So let me clarify a couple of things if these things are bothering you. Well, first, calling people idiots on an end of the month call, that's just beneath me. Anybody who's
Let's give the background on that just for a second.
No, Heidi, we don't need to explain. There is no explanation needed because he should not be getting on any public forum and calling people idiots. I don't care who he is, who was on the call. I don't give a He's the owner and founder of the business, so he should not have done that. There is no excuse, no explanation needed. If you're truly sorry for something,
sorry for doing this. I can see how it was interpreted. Moving on.
if you were really sorry for it, there would be no explanation after. Just saying, in my opinion.
So we're doing the end of the month live, and over on the side is the comments. And the comments were obviously from trolls and people that are anti-MLM, and they were like, whatever, you anti-MLM, you suck, well, whatever.
The troll is back, Heidi. The troll is back. So I remember somebody commenting about asking how it's not a pyramid scheme or something along those lines. It was nothing about anti-MLM or somebody trolling. It was a legitimate question about how is Scentsy not a pyramid scheme. So no, Heidi, it wasn't anti-MLM trolling. It was a legitimate question that somebody asked. And if you feel like it was an anti-MLM or trolling, that is telling. I feel like there might be an insecurity there you need to look into. Maybe speak with the FTC about what guidelines you might be breaking, in my opinion, and allegedly.
And so he just said, oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
that being said, it was beneath me. There's a saying, well, some people are upset about professions of faith too. And as I say this, I'm saying this not as in any way trying to convince somebody to believe one thing or another, just as an expression. They say that you know how well somebody is a follower of Jesus Christ by how kind they are to others. And as somebody,
There's more than that, though. I think there's a glow that people can have too.
Yeah.
So,
but as somebody who professes
yeah.
to be a Christian, calling another person an idiot is beneath me. So I apologize for that. That was just something I shouldn't have done.
They called her an idiot.
What's that?
I'm assuming that was that individual who was not muted. That was her significant other, husband, boyfriend, maybe brother. I don't know. But he said
He called people an idiot?
the disbelief. It's so good. I love it so much. This shit. There's more. There's so much more to this call. And I've seen bits and pieces. And just the bits and pieces were fucking gold. I can't wait to see what else is in here.
Get your popcorn, back to your seats, and get ready for Act 2.
Uh-oh. If everybody can mute themselves, that would be great. If you've not done that, please.
Yeah, that's just something beneath me, and I apologize for that. Now, one of the things that somebody had mentioned was that I'd
In January.
made a statement that if you were just part of Scentsy to get a discount for your own products, perhaps you would be better being a customer of a consultant who is trying to build their business. I can see how that is interpreted if you're somebody trying to build your business and you thought that I was talking to you as somebody who should just quit and help somebody else, right? So oftentimes what'll happen is I'll see a group of people with size 8 shoes, and some of them are wearing size 13 shoes and tripping all over themselves. And I'll say, hey, if your shoes are too big and you're tripping, why don't you help me get you the right size shoes? And all the people that are wearing the right size shoes are saying, why are you telling me my shoes are too big? Right? And so I need to be more careful in coaching situations. And I think part of it is a lot of you haven't met me enough to understand how that, how I actually think and work. And so I can see how that's confusing. But also, if somebody is giving advice and it doesn't apply to you, don't force it into applying to you, because that can cause some misunderstanding and frustration. So if I say something,
call us, message us, ask us to clarify.
If I am giving advice to somebody, because a lot of people ask for advice, and if I give advice to somebody and you think it's applying to you, but it's not, then we can have a misunderstanding that's going to cause heartbreak. And I don't want that. So I want you to know that you're loved and supported, every one of you.
But only the ones that get offered exit interviews. Those are the only ones that they love and support.
Heidi and I love what we do at Scentsy. And we don't do this for the money. We don't do this for the fame.
You do it for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Can we normalize working for money? People make money for a living. I get paid to do this. If I didn't get paid to do this, you would probably see one video a quarter from me. We all work. We all have to make a living. We all have to pay bills, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're on OF, making a bag, paying your taxes, go off, queen or king. If you're on YouTube, doing research in your spare time, getting paid for it, go off, queen. If you started an MLM business to make money, go off, king. You started a business for money. Stop saying it's not about the money, because it's a blatant lie.
We don't do this because we have nothing else to do. We do this because we love creating opportunities for people. We love the community that we have created. And we think that you all together are better for each other than you all separate from each other. Building communities of love and support is important in this crazy world where everyone is trying to tear us apart. And that's what brings us joy. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're grateful that there are great people like Lauren and Sherry and Kelly that can help you maintain a community of love and support. And if this applies to you, I'm not saying it does if it doesn't, but if it does apply to you and you're part of a part of the voices that are negative and mean-spirited and combative with other consultants, I'd invite you to think about the value of the community that you are surrounding yourself with.
Orville is asking questions to your leaders combative, because that seems to be what we're talking about. I have been behind the scenes in the past and currently as far as seeing what Scentsy consultants are experiencing when they're asking questions and when they're thinking about leaving. And it's disgusting. They're being treated like asking a question is being negative. They're not even going to address the question because you shouldn't even be asking it. Asking the hard questions, the real questions in business that these people are asking, whether they're in a Scentsy hate group or not, they're legitimate questions, and it's not being combative. If you have questions, you're not being combative. You're trying to get all of the information you need to make an informed decision. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
And how much you appreciate support and offer that support to others. And if you're somebody who's very supportive, thank you for creating a supportive environment. Part of the reason people don't want to be part of a company, including Scentsy, is they don't feel happy or welcome in the community.
I wonder why that is, Orville. If they get bashed for asking a real question, how welcome is everybody going to feel? The only way you feel welcome in a Scentsy community is if you have the toxic positivity of
everything everything's great in Scentsy, everything's gonna work out, I need to stay because this is where I belong, I shouldn't listen to anybody with opposing opinions.
And each of us has a responsibility of making this a safe and comfortable, and happy place for people to gather together, to earn some money, to learn some skills, to find their people, to improve themselves one step at a time. And we are very proud of the opportunity that Scentsy has given to people to improve their lives and improve their through income and through personal development. And we're going to continue our journey of helping you do that well into the future.
Yeah, this has been tough. And I'm gonna cry.
Here she goes again.
Not only for all of you, and so I feel you, but for us too. We found out just like all of you. And that was tough. And so I can only imagine how all of you are feeling right now. And the other thing is she did leave to go to another company. And
We still don't know what company it is at the time that I'm recording this.
This just in! This former Scentsy leader has announced that she has joined Farmasi. Yikes! That's all for this update. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And she's gonna need people to follow her. And that's gonna be a tough thing too, as the team comes together and starts trying to settle down.
She's going to need people to follow her. And she's like, please don't leave. I need you to settle down and stay here with Scentsy.
And I don't know. I just want you all to know that we do love you. And sorry if you do choose to leave, we do hurt. Because we do count it as a friendship.
Is it a friendship or is it a fundship, Heidi? You know, we all know the ones on the other side of getting out of an MLM that are recovering. We know consultants are the number one customer. So I would see it more as a fundship. Do you know any of these people on this call? Anybody below a star consultant? Do you know them? Do you know them personally? Is that a real friendship? Do you reach out to them and see if they need an ear, a shoulder to cry on, anything like that? You're not friends.
But at the same time, we understand she feels that she's needs to do this for growth for herself. And so we understand that too. So it's really hard. It's really, really hard. Yeah.
Similar to the way, I mean, it was just last Thursday where we had to let some employees go at Scentsy.
Yeah.
And that was brutal because we were saying goodbye to them. And then on the flip side, within the week, then we have people saying goodbye to us. So we feel it. We understand it.
We do.
So
and it's tough.
So what we can do is just kind of give you some assurance about where things are going.
I addressed this over on my Instagram account, which, by the way, if you have Instagram and you're not following me and you wouldn't mind following me, if you would go to the link in my description, that would be great. That would be super helpful for the channel and keeping me going and getting me sponsors. So would be much appreciated. But also I do a lot of stories and little posts about what's happening with Scentsy and whatnot over there. And I did mention that on my Instagram. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here in a video, that they did recently at their home office in Meridian, Idaho, lay off 116 additional employees on top of the employees that they announced the layoffs at the beginning of 2025. So that was an additional slew of Scentsy employees that were actual employees going to work, punching a time clock every day, getting a salary, whatnot, that were laid off. Now, I think that's very telling, especially as they sit here and tell all the consultants that everything is fine and they're making business chess moves for the future and they have to trust them and this and that. It doesn't look like they should trust you right now. Things look to be falling apart and there's never any real answers. It's just trust us, trust us, trust us. What is there to trust at this point? You're taking commissions down, you're laying off your employees, you're shutting down warehouses. What is there to trust? You're not telling them anything other than trust us.
So Heidi and I got back about 9 months ago. And when we got back, we noticed that there was not a lot of attention that had been given to the core Scentsy products. And the product pipeline was a little dry, to be honest with you. There was a lot of inventory that we had accumulated over the boom times of COVID. And, you know, the flash sales that would come would be getting rid of that inventory slowly, but there wasn't a lot of new product coming in. And we knew that that was a critical challenge. So we started working then on improving the pipeline, but it takes a while for that pipeline to get full. So right now, if you're finding sales are tough, understand that we understand that they're tough. We understand that there's not the same level of product that we had available for you in years past.
Well, and LTOs have changed and some things have been pulled back. So
yeah, and so we know that it's a challenge, but please know that we understand it and we are working to fix it. Okay, and we have been working to fix it for many months. You just don't see it yet because it hasn't come through the pipeline.
See, just trust us. Just trust us. It's coming.
By the end of this year, you will find far greater opportunities to sell and products that are going to be appealing to your customers.
They need those opportunities now. It's April 2025. Nobody right now has time in the climate that we're living in the United States of America, at least. And I know that it's like this in other countries as well. We don't have time to wait until the end of 2025. It is April 2025. We are still in the beginning part of 2025. These people don't have time. You need to stop telling them that it's going to be okay and give them the truths of what's going on. This isn't fair to them. I get very passionate about this, and I know that sometimes it can come off as anger, and maybe it is anger, but I hate that these people are being taken advantage of. And I know what it feels like because you start to pull away a little and then you get on this live Zoom call and they pull you right back in and you're like,
oh no, they said it's going to be okay though, so I have to stay. I have to stick it out and keep hitting my $250 a month to stay active and get my commissions.
It's crumbling from the appearance on the outside. Get out, please get out.
Far more than last year in the fourth quarter because we'll have time to fix that. The other thing is we have Superstar Director Summit coming in a couple of weeks. And we have a lot of things that we've been discussing with the executive team that we want to present to them. Now, we understand, as much as we love our superstar directors, they don't represent necessarily the whole consultant base. They tend to make more money than most. They're not all just sitting fat and pretty and doing nothing. They're working very hard as well.
Sure.
But they're in a different situation than, say, a brand new consultant or somebody who is primarily in this business to sell to friends and family or to close neighbors or to do an event from time to time or to post on their social media page and get a sale here or there, which is wonderful. That's most of our consultants, people that are doing this as a side hustle and for fun. So we know that they don't represent all of you, but we do want to counsel with them because they're the ones meeting with you face to face and seeing your pain, helping you resolve it so that we can come and present programs and products that will really bless you. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be talking with them about some things that I think are going to answer a lot of the concerns that people have about Scentsy that might cause them to make a decision like Jennifer made yesterday.
I'll just say though, from the exit interview, it was a few of the things that we have said, but that's in the past now. So
I guess one thing would be if any of you have questions.
Yes, we have with all the China tariffs, how does this affect Scentsy?
A very good question. And we are a bit in a world of chaos.
It's kind of a day by day thing.
Yesterday morning,
yeah,
compared to today, it's a different world.
It is completely different.
We had meetings scheduled yesterday morning when the tariffs were across the world before the 90-day pause. And we thought there is no escape from this. What are we going to do?
I don't follow the news very much. For those of you that don't know, I struggle with significant depression and anxiety. So I have to limit my news consumption a lot of times. And just hearing the little bits and pieces about the tariffs, it's fucking scary for everybody right now. But anyway, I should have started homesteading a long time ago, jarring and canning my shit. And I know there's a lot more behind it that I don't understand. So I'm not going to talk much more about it. And we're going to get right back into this motherfucking call.
There's a 90-day pause. I think that there is.
Except for China.
Yeah. There is a lot of wisdom in the decisions that we made a few years ago.
Yes.
One of the principles that Heidi and I have always worked on is independence, right?
Why did he say independence like that?
Having options so that you're not dependent upon anyone or any one thing. So years ago, we told our factories in China to create a facility outside of China. Last fall, we went to Thailand and opened a factory that can make warmers. It'll take a little while for that factory to get up to speed because they have to train an entire new workforce and they have to develop a supply chain, but they're working very quickly to get that factory up to speed.
I know a lot of consultants or ex-consultants have been talking about the tariffs and how it's affecting Scentsy. And again, I don't have enough education and I can't sit down and get enough education right now at the current state of my life to figure out what this all means for Scentsy. So I'm not touching anything he's going to talk about as far as like the tariffs in Thailand go. That's the shipping and stuff. Listen, I know it's going to eventually affect the consultants and all of that, but I have to protect my peace right now. I'm going through it. And eventually I will look deeper into that when my psyche can handle all of the other things that I'm going to have to read to go along with it, if you get what I mean.
That gives us a way to bring warmers in without going through China, meaning if China gets shut down, we're still okay. That was fortunately a decision we made, probably a dozen years ago. And it was 5 years ago when our factory partners decided it was finally time.
Thailand was still on the tariff list, but not nearly as bad as China. So,
and it has since been taken off the tariff list. So that's number one. Canada becomes a challenge if they have reciprocal, if there's a trade war between Canada and Mexico and you have teams up there, that can be a challenge because we buy our wax from Canada. We pay tariffs coming into the United States. We make our Scentsy bars, send them back to Canada and pay Canadian tariffs. So that whiplash could be quite painful. So far, we think that we'll be okay.
And we're looking at other ways to get pieces and parts to do it here if we need to.
So Heidi and I have always maintained a slim margin or, slim profit in Scentsy. We've never really pushed for big profits. We always believe that we can get a small but stable profit margin, the company will work well and we'll be well taken care of.
I have to address this. This lady is not on mute and she keeps coming up. And if you missed it, it's just the top, like from her chin up. And you can tell she's laying on a couch. It's just so fitting for what is happening right now.
That gives us a little room to squeeze here, but not a lot of room. If it gets,
not 125%.
If it gets to the point where we squeeze too much, then we might have to do something like lower PRV on an item temporarily, put a surcharge on a party order. We don't know exactly how we would do it, but it would be as minimal as possible. And we would work through the superstar directors to look at options. So far, we don't need to employ any of those options.
And I'll just say, I feel like Trump is playing a game of chicken and it won't last super long. So hopefully
one way or the other, And wherever you are on the political spectrum, there's room for concern. Wherever you are, you can say, I told you so. And someone else can say, see, you were wrong. And you'd both be right. So yes, we're all wrong. And yes, we're all right to some degree.
For once, Orville, I agree with you. Somebody is going to get mad at me because I don't know enough about the tariffs to be talking about it. But also somebody is going to be like, I get it. I can't look it up either. There's always going to be somebody on both sides. That's the beauty of having an opinion, just like my opinion with Scentsy. I think it's a business run like a pyramid-like structure, and other people think that it's their own business and they're doing amazing things. There's people on both sides.
It's a mess. And, but as Scentsy, we are as prepared as anybody to handle that. And we will minimize any impact on you as best we can. And we won't increase prices or change anything until after we are not making any money. If that makes sense. It will only happen after we're losing money. Will we then ever ask you to change anything to help address the tariffs? Our profits will go first.
The other thing is we have 4 containers on the water right now. And
14.
I thought you said 4.
14.
Oh, 14. And when will they be charged? When they hit?
They were on the water when the 125% went on. So they're at the 100. They're at the 55. Anything that we ship now will be at 125%.
Anything that comes after yesterday,
we have a lot of our fall product that we can hold in China. Hopefully that things will come down in the next month or two. If they don't,
and that's what I'm saying, I'm hoping it's a quick game of chicken.
if the tariffs stay high in China, then fall is going to be really slim for Heidi and me. But it shouldn't have a big impact on you, unless tariffs go to like 250 or 300, which is basically the U.S. government saying, don't bring product in from China. If that's the case, then we'll be bringing stuff in from Thailand, and it might impact the breadth of product we can sell. So those are the doomsday scenarios. For you, I wouldn't worry about it. The likelihood that there will be a significant impact to you, which I would say more than a 2% change, would be very low. The worst case scenario we see is maybe a 2% change net payout to consultants. And I think would work through that to where it will have as least impact as possible. But that's a worst case scenario.
So a message on here that GM laid off 200 people in Michigan today. So it's not just us. It is not just us. There are many companies hurting right now. So it's not just us.
But Heidi, I thought you guys were doing great. You guys are fine. You and Orville are sitting here telling everybody you're doing great, you're doing fine, everything's gonna get better and go up from here. But
GM just laid off a bunch of employees also, so we're not the only ones suffering.
you just said you weren't suffering. Which is it?
Yeah, I work in the federal government. They're letting people go daily.
Bless you all.
Yeah.
We are in a crazy transition. And I just hope we can hold together as friends and as fellow citizens during this crazy time. And yes, we're going to try to keep the cost of things down as best we can.
Alicia, we weren't snubbing.
I want to stop right there because it sounds like Orville was saying, I hope that we could stay together. I hope that we could pull through this as friends, blah, blah, blah. And it almost sounded like he was talking specifically about Scentsy, but he did say as citizens. So he was talking about America as a whole. He was not talking about Scentsy. So I didn't want anybody to speculate that he was saying the same thing that Heidi basically just said, that they're suffering. Not saying that they're not suffering, but that is not what he was referring to when he said that, and it was covered up by the individual that was not muted.
You. I know. I'm just seconding what Lauren said.
I didn't think you were. I muted myself. I didn't think you were. Okay. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm here.
Okay.
I just want you to know my eyes are really bad. And I have to look under my glasses, and that makes me look
I'm
dumb.
also in the dark in the car. I'm in the dark in the car, and I'm in my kids' dance. So I'm like in the car trying to like talk to you and go back and forth. But I'm here.
So present with your kids. That time freedom allows you to be present at their dance, huh?
Okay.
Okay, so the comp plan changed 20 to 25%. To give you a little perspective on that, one, it was an intellectual situation, right? There was and this is really hard to explain. The compensation plan had an inherent conflict in it at the essential and certified levels, because everything in our comp plan pays at rank, even though there is a title which is the highest ranked earned, except for at the essential consultant level. And because we had that inconsistency, there were problems with programming. There were problems with future things that we might want to do that it excites and entices people to engage at that early level. And so we kept always bumping up against that inconsistency. Now, because we actually have that little bit to play with, and it's not much, there's very little commission that isn't paid as a result of that. Most people are dealing with that just fine. There's very little not being paid. It's just saying that. I think a lot of people thought the problem would be much worse than it is. But that being said, we do have room to do things that might be incentivizing.
It doesn't matter because the commission still went down.
Like, for instance, have an incentive that says, if you can do X, Y, and Z over this month's period, then here's a reward that you can get. How do we fund that reward? It's from the little bit that we saved by having to fix this technical inconsistency. It's not that we wanted more money. We had to fix that inconsistency. Now that we have that little extra money, we got to figure out how best to get it to the hands of consultants in a way that incentivizes them to do good work for themselves. I hope that makes sense. That's how this plays into, it doesn't really play into tariffs, but that's how that whole
why the
decision
change came about.
came about.
Okay, they said, how are the sheep? I met them while I was at boot camp.
They're doing well. I've got my Valley Black Nose sheep cranking along. We should have some more babies here coming soon. Our first live births, most of them have been embryo transplants up to this point, but now we're to the point where we're just doing live breeding and live births. So that's kind of fun. Thank you for asking.
Orville, please clarify, end of month idiot comment was not about Jennifer.
Oh, it was not about Jennifer. Did you think it was about Jennifer?
Did she think it was about her?
No, it wasn't about, it wasn't about Jennifer, Angel Jennifer. It was about the anti-mlmers. They're trash. What the
Oh, okay. If she thought that was about her, then I am.
I don't think so. I don't
Okay,
think she
okay.
did. No.
So I explained
Mhm.
earlier kind of what happened. We were on the call and somebody, a troll or people from the We Hate Scentsy group now, had come on the call. And
It's not called We Hate Scentsy. It's a freedom of speech group for Scentsy consultants that are asking real questions that they want real answers to and not just trust us. It's a group of consultants who have left that are helping others who have those real questions that are trying to make informed decisions because they can't get the information that they need from you guys because you just keep saying, it's gonna be fine, trust us. It's not a Scentsy hate group. And what's funny is that LuLaRoe had a similar group before they started to crumble and fall to pieces.
we're saying hateful, mean MLM things.
The Scentsy's a pyramid scheme.
That we're a
Scentsy's
pyramid scheme, yeah.
And
And
so
so he just tried to shut them down.
I know a lot of.
And again, it was a question. Somebody that set him off. It was somebody asking if Scentsy is a pyramid scheme. These are public live streams on Facebook coming from their Facebook account. If you don't want real questions from real people, make it a private stream and have only the people who are drinking your purple Kool-Aid come to this event.
People get that about multi-level. There's a lot of anti-multi-level sentiment, particularly with TikTok banning it, and really to help understand what's going on is there are competing side hustle opportunities, influencer opportunities where, you know, I might have a product, I'm selling it online, I'll pay you a commission to sell my product, right? That's a side hustle you can do. You can drive Uber, you can do lots of things. If I want to recruit you to do that work for me, I'm going to sell against your other opportunities. Right? If I wanted to tell you why you should join Scentsy and I'm spending my time saying, well, Uber's dumb because this and this and this, and you don't want to be an influencer because you don't have any upside potential, you know, that would be selling against competition. Well, we have a lot of new opportunities for side hustles. And so all those new opportunities for side hustles are selling against the opportunity of direct selling.
Because they're so much better than multi-level marketing. I like affiliate marketing and I can get behind affiliate marketing. One, because there's never going to be any kind of recruitment that happens where you get a monthly payout on anybody that you recruit and you get a set commission for every product you sell. You don't have to worry about what a team is doing below you and if they're going to reach their numbers so that you could get your bonus. You just focus on the number of products you sell and that's the money that you get, and that's that. There's no complication of figuring out if you're going to get an extra 5% because you sold more than usual, or if Sally sold enough for your group to hit the numbers that you have to hit to get your bonus paid out. You don't have to worry about any of that. You say, I like this product. Here's my link if you want to order it. I get a little bit of the commissions. Other than that, I have nothing to do with it. On top of that, say this lip gloss company reached out to me and they were like, we want you to do an ad read in your video for 1 to 2 minutes. We'll pay you $200 for this. And then you'll also get a commission on top of it for every unit or every whatever sold. Cool. Next week, a different lip gloss company reaches out to me and says, hey, we want you to do a 1 to 2 minute ad read in one of your videos. We'll pay you $200 and you'll get a commission from every unit you sell. I can say yes because in my contracts, I make sure that I don't have any no compete clause that refrains me from talking about any kind of lip gloss company or makeup company, anything like that. Those are not in the contracts that I sign. And if they are, I'm not signing them. In an MLM contract, they take your whole social media audience from you. See how the difference is there? You have so much more control in affiliate marketing and affiliate opportunities than you do in multi-level marketing. That's why it's so much better. And people are leaving multi-level marketing companies and finding a way to make affiliate marketing work for them instead, where they don't have to worry about a downline.
And so you get a lot of people that are going anti-MLM right now, or anti-direct selling, or anti-party plan, because they have a vested interest in you choosing a different side hustle than something like Scentsy or any other of the direct selling companies.
We don't, though. Anybody that is working in affiliate marketing in any way, shape, or form, or anybody in the anti-MLM community, we don't have a vested interest in people leaving MLMs. The affiliate marketers don't have a vested interest because, like I said, they don't have to recruit. The brand is anti-MLM. You're telling me that Maybelline is going to be like,
Don't join a multi-level marketing company?
no, they're not. They have bigger fish to fry.
That makes sense.
I also think that a couple of things too. I think that the next generation, Gen Z, definitely they're not like into direct selling or MLM. The term MLM repulses them. Direct selling isn't as bad.
Yeah, and we are really not an MLM company.
We're not,
right?
And that's what I was going to say.
You are. We already went over this. There is a whole ChatGPT explanation because that's where Orville wanted all the anti-MLMers to go and research why and how Scentsy wasn't a pyramid scheme. It says blatantly that it's a multi-level marketing company. There are multi-levels to your marketing partners, your consultants. Your consultants are your marketers. So you are a multi-level marketing company because there are multi-level of these consultants, making it a multi-level marketing company. The term direct selling refers to MLMs, but not the whole aspect of MLMs. So if somebody comes to you, if you're a Gen Z individual, like Heidi is referring to, and somebody comes to you and says, I have a direct selling opportunity for you, ask them if there is a recruitment aspect, because if there is a recruitment aspect, yes, there's direct selling involved, but there's also multi-level marketing involved, and it could be a pyramid-like structure that you want to stay away from.
As I think that there are a lot of people in that group that don't understand that we're not a MLM.
I think you don't understand that you're not an MLM. Go to ChatGPT, you two, Heidi and Orville. Ask them what a multi-level marketing company is. Ask them what an MLM is. I'll do it for you, since you clearly don't have time to go look up facts for anything else you spew out of your mouths. What is an MLM? Listen, I know ChatGPT isn't the primary source of information or facts these days, but the reason I'm using it is because Orville tells his consultants to go research on ChatGPT these hard questions, like, is Scentsy a pyramid scheme? I'm going to put the full explanation of what an MLM is according to ChatGPT on the screen, but I'm not going to read through it all in an effort to save time. It says an MLM, short for multi-level marketing, is a business model where individuals sell products, often things like supplements, skincare, or essential oils, and recruit others to do the same. How is that not what Scentsy does? How is that not what Scentsy does? Heidi, please explain that to me. I can draw you a picture and show you how it is exactly an MLM, and the picture I would draw is your compensation plan. It tells you right there what you need to know. It is a multi-level marketing company. So let's carry on this conversation and ask my friend, is Scentsy an MLM? Yes. You might want to inform your good friend ChatGPT that Scentsy is not an MLM. Again, it gave me a lengthy explanation and I'm going to put it all on the screen, but it also continues to say, while Scentsy refers to itself as a party plan company emphasizing social events for product promotion, its compensation structure aligns it with typical MLM models, where building a team can significantly impact earnings. Let's keep going. I can't wait to debunk more of your bullshit.
Our compensation plan has always been geared towards an influencer sale of the product compensation first model. And so where a lot of companies are shifting, we've already been there. Now, to clarify on the idiot comment, what I meant, the better word would have been ignorant if ignorant is used in its proper form. What I mean by that is if somebody thinks that ML or that Scentsy is a pyramid scheme, they don't understand what a pyramid scheme actually is. They are saying something that they've heard from other people without really knowing the facts. And the facts are, it's virtually impossible to have a pyramid scheme if two things exist. One, if there are customers outside of the organization that don't get any compensation for purchasing the product. If that ratio is high, like Scentsy's ratio is about 80%. If there are 80% of the customers of Scentsy products are not consultants, that makes it virtually mathematically impossible, if not mathematically impossible, to be a pyramid scheme.
Cool. But like I said last time you gave us that statistic, where are your motherfucking facts? Because from the looks of it, most of your sales are coming from consultants. You're not giving these consultants the graphs that show 80% of sales coming from outside of consultants, which also brings up another thing that I want to point out, where he is talking about how the consultants, he mentioned in the beginning how he said this in some call. This was not a call that I reacted to as far as I remember, but he mentioned that he said that if a consultant is in it basically to be a hobbyist, if you're just in it to buy for yourself for the discount, you should probably back away and then support your upline, your person that recruited you instead. Is that because the current statistic of you having 80% or more of outside sales is not really true? Because in order for it to be true, we all need to see the proof. There's no proof, there's no receipts. It's just you saying, yeah, 80% of our sales come from outside people, not consultants, because it's illegal. So is murder, but people still do it every fucking day, unfortunately.
That was what I was trying to convey. And I said, anybody who just doesn't accept that, that's when I used the wrong word.
I think you're the ignorant one here then.
The other thing is when the products have a value outside of the organization that is established. So if you go to Amazon and people are buying product or people are selling product, secondhand product that's hijacked product or pirated product that is sold on Amazon for more money than you have it listed for on your PWS, that's another indication that we're not a pyramid scheme because the products we're selling are real priced.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, fucking what? I'm sorry, what? How does that even make sense?
If the product is selling for more than what you sold it for, we're not a pyramid scheme.
Okay, yeah, give me some more of that purple Kool-Aid. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? How does that make sense? What am I missing? You can have a product and still be a pyramid scheme. As I'm showing here, if you ask Google, ChatGPT, a pyramid scheme can have a product. When the focus is primarily on recruiting instead of selling the product, that's what makes it a pyramid scheme. You can still have a product when you have a pyramid scheme. It doesn't matter if the product is selling for more on Amazon than your consultants are selling it for. That has nothing to do with making a business a pyramid scheme or not. I think you guys are the ignorant ones, specifically because you don't have time to research the actual facts because you're trying to keep brainwashing your consultants to stay in your pyramid-like structure of a business. While the anti-MLM community is out here doing the actual research and providing the actual facts and statistics and things that people actually need to know to make their informed decision whether or not they're going to stay with Scentsy. These things that you're saying are factually not true, and we are proving you wrong. And you're still sitting here calling us ignorant.
Those two things are the best defense against anyone saying that Scentsy is a pyramid scheme. And if you still think Scentsy is a pyramid scheme, then you're misinformed of the facts. But you're not idiots. No one's an idiot. I shouldn't have said that. Hopefully I never have to talk about that again. Yeah, I take that back.
He says in a private training. He's not actually coming to the public to where it was portrayed or the anti-MLM community. He's not coming to any of us saying, sorry, shouldn't have called you idiots. He's not going to the group, the We Hate Scentsy group, that's actually just a group of people providing facts and information for people who want it. He's not going to them and saying, sorry for calling you an idiot. He's going to the people who are like, oh, you call somebody an idiot? They must have deserved it.
Please bring manufacturing back to the U.S.
Yes, that's an interesting topic. We have a lot of manufacturing in the U.S. All of our fragrance products are made in the U.S. Because we make warmers outside of the United States, we can make wax in the United States. Right? It's an interesting way how international trade works. The big challenge with making warmers in the United States is there isn't a ceramic industry that is well established, at least in Idaho and really anywhere in America. So mass-produced ceramic is all made in China, and it has been for 5,000 years. That's why the nickname for dishes made out of ceramic is China, right? Yeah. That is their national industry for 5,000 years. So that's the reason why those are made there. But as we make other things, like all of our fragrance products are all made here in America. We would never take
Idaho.
Yeah, made in Idaho.
They want to see pictures of the babies, photos of the babies.
Do you have any?
Of your sheep?
Oh, of my sheep or of our kids?
Sheep or our kids, yeah. I'm not sure.
I don't know if I have any on my phone. That
I was thinking it was a sheep, but
okay.
How are consultants getting on the end of the month live? Yes, people answered that. It's a public Facebook page, so anybody can get on, and trolls love to get on things like that.
Trolls. Baby, your consultants are sending us links and downloads. We're not there.
And then somebody said maybe make a private end of the month. And after last month, we thought that exact same thing.
We also thought about maybe doing a podcast format for Heidi and me, and then letting the home office team do the end of the month.
I don't know, but there are a few people on there that were like, where's Dan? This is boring. So maybe we need to bring Dan back for end of month.
The real issue is there's so much abuse, and an employee isn't willing to put themselves up to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ikelia, I want to know, I hope I got my vowels right, but I want you to know how much I've missed your purple hair over all these years. I haven't seen you for a while.
Glad to see we're making an impact, though. We're being heard, that's for sure.
Okay, Orville, I wish you would share this with the entire consultant field. There's a lot of unease right now with the state of the economy. So many direct sales companies closing their doors or going affiliate, and watching so many leaders leave for other companies. And who's to say that they're not having the same kind of issues that we are? You know what I mean?
What issues, Heidi? Everything's great at Scentsy.
One leader left for Arbonne. Arbonne's as old as we are, or older.
Well, and their sales trajectory is worse than ours.
Yes.
You know, where Jennifer, where we heard she left to, they're just cresting. Direct selling companies' sales trajectories tend to follow a pretty defined pattern. And I'll tell you, if you were thinking of leaving Scentsy and you called us first we would wish you well.
Yeah, and then we would tell you which company to go to.
Would interview you, would say, okay, what is it that you'd really want? If we can't have you, here's the best place for you. And here's why. Because we love you more than we love what you do for us. And if you don't find joy in working with Scentsy anymore, then it is unfair of us to not help you find more joy some other way. Because again, this is about you, not about us. So we'll help you if you need to. But I will tell you, I've looked around. There may be one company
that you would suggest right now.
Two or three of you, if 2 or 3 of you went to it, it would benefit you 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You'd have to be the right 2 or 3, and it would only work for 2 or 3 of you. But for the rest of you, I think you're in a good spot.
Okay, is the wax technically considered US since it's brought in from Canada? The wax is brought in from Canada, but then we mix some things in, and so it's made in Idaho.
What? Is that really how made in works? You just have to like add a dribble of water or a dribble of coloring to your wax and made in USA. What is happening in the world? We are all just being scammed by everything right now, to be honest.
Yeah, so really our wax is a compound. And so there are multiple different ingredients in it. And so while one of the components comes from Canada, one of the major components comes from Canada, where they get their raw ingredients, it might be United States product going to Canada, getting refined, sent to the United States, added with products, getting refined some more.
Sent
right?
somewhere else,
so
yeah.
There really is a global supply chain around the world, but it is considered United States product because it is finished here, and it becomes a Scentsy bar here.
That is so wild to me. I just like, what? No. What? We put the label on, so it's made here. Where are we?
Okay, they're saying humans, baby humans, and baby sheep. Then they say the sheep. And Bobby has Nigerian dwarf goats, and they're having babies.
Let's see. Any other questions? We don't want to bore you. If you want to go, we understand. We're just, if you're feeling okay.
Or if you have any questions, that you're just dying to ask.
Let me share a couple of things before you go. The call that we were on before was a council that we were having with our family.
We have I gotta share with you. So when our kids were growing up, we would say prayer, and at the end of prayer we would put our hands in. You have to put your hand in, and we would say Thompson team, or 1 2 3 1 2 3 Thompson team, 1 2 3 buddies forever. So our little family call group or text group is called Buddies Forever. And so we set up phone calls. We like to talk like once a week. But today we were talking about Scentsy and future products and ideas with our kids to buy in on some things and to talk through some things. And so it was a super good phone call.
Yeah. So like Emma is helps Heidi with the home team. Grace is on the social media team and the social media and marketing team. Owen is in the product development team, and Mary, even though she's very busy with her boys, is working part-time as a creative director to help us recategorize and elevate our warmer options.
What's really sad is I was so deep into the Scentsy realm that I have known their kids' names for so long, and I know exactly who they're talking about. I was drinking this purple Kool-Aid with everybody that's on these calls. That's why I get it. They are in it right now. They aren't on the other side yet. They'll get here.
And you're going to be really excited about the products that she's coming out with. And then
She just presented to all the executives, and they all were like texting us after, like, "Whoa, that's so amazing!"
oh, she's amazing. Yeah.
So
4 out of 5 of them are working at Scentsy. And so with the situation with Jennifer, because they've met her on Africa or in Bora Bora, different trips, they've met her, they know her, and they're like, "What happened?" So we're kind of helping them understand. And then we were just talking about the fact that somebody's ready to walk away from 16 years when they're doing really well, or 14 years when they're doing well. And, it was a big sacrifice to walk away. So we were just talking through that and about what we would do as a family. And are we committed to Scentsy? Are they committed for the next generation? Or Mom and I, Heidi and I, continuing to work, is it going to benefit them? Do they really care about what we're doing?
What's going on? Yeah.
And all of them are just so into it. They're like, don't you dare think about not giving in, but slowing down.
He said giving in. Don't think about giving in. I wanted to point that out because all of the Scentsy consultants coming forward, all of the people getting loud in the We Hate Scentsy group, me, Julie Anderson, Aaron Bees, all of the other creators creating about Scentsy, they are hearing us and they are starting to see what's going on, and something in their gut is like, maybe we should just give in. That's what I'm getting from this conversation that they had with their kids, in my opinion, from the words that are coming out of their mouth. You form your own opinion though. They're getting scared because the truths are coming out now. More and more people are leaving. The community that is leaving is getting louder, and people are hearing what we all have to say.
We owe it to this brand to get it back.
We owe it to get old on you.
So the fact that they're in 100% allows us to really feel good about being in 100%. Not that we were questioning, but if they were like, "Yeah, Mom and Dad, can't you see the writing on the wall? If people like Jennifer are leaving, maybe you need to step out because maybe you're the problem," which is a real question, right? I was wondering if it was actually me that is what's out of step. But no, they said, Scentsy needs you in, we need you in, let's be all in, let's do this, Thompson team. So that was what that call was before we jumped on.
And that's why I was late, because I was finishing up talking to them.
And we're super invigorated because they are.
And the superstar directors will get to see some of that when they come. And so hopefully they come back re-energized and tell all of you the exciting stuff. So
okay.
Somebody, Babette, again, she said she did research ceramic companies in the US and saw over 600 companies, specifically Brooklyn and Portland.
Yeah, we have looked at ceramic companies here. 2 challenges. One, their ability to create mass. When we order warmer in China, we order 20,000 samples of a warmer, and they have 5 or 6 warmers in production at any given time. So they're producing hundreds of thousands of warmers. Most of the ceramic companies in the United States are artisanal products that are not creating mass merchandise products. It's all more artistic type products.
Some of them are hand painted, and that's an art. Like,
is it? No way. Hand painting is an art? Thanks for letting us know.
Right now, Thailand is spending, they have a whole program going to train people how to paint like the painters in China. And it takes months to learn how to paint on a warmer like that.
Is that something you can even learn? I don't know. I have feelings about art. I've always been an artist myself. And I feel like there are certain things like painting, like actual painting art. I just don't know. You either got it or you don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. I am so totally overthinking this. Let's get back into it.
And so that's an art, and it's not something the United States knows how to do.
Now, we have had conversations, to be completely transparent. We've had conversations with our factories about coming and building out a factory in Idaho where we just start from scratch and build it to scale.
Yes.
If we were to do that, it would be about 3 times as expensive as it would be. So with 100% tariff, it gets us halfway there.
Yeah.
Would have to be at a 200% tariff before it starts to make sense. And then would have to have the quality. They know what they're doing because they're 3rd or 4th generation ceramic artisans, where here would be teaching people an entire craft out of the blue. Okay. But good thinking. We are all about that. And there are other places other than Thailand we can go to, but we've struggled. We've tried Mexico, we've tried Poland, we've tried lots of countries, and getting the quality that they can do in China is really, really tough. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. Let's go through.
Oh, somebody here
So about grace. I don't believe it's a lack of joy for me. Anyway, it's been for me the changes in compensation, and I feel lack of transparency from the company regarding the changes that have been brought up.
I can get you in the middle.
Me a feeling of them.
Hopefully you were just on a few minutes ago and we talked about compensation changes.
I will tell you. So here's part of the challenge with communication, right? We are in a major transition, and let me just kind of explain. This might get a little technical. I apologize if it does. A company needs a growth engine. At the beginning, we were ground floor opportunity, exclusive product. Nobody had seen warmers and wax, and we were brand new on all the states of the United States, and then brand new in Canada.
Read between the lines. Their major transition is likely, in my opinion, allegedly, by studying trends, it's going to be them switching to just affiliate. It's going to be them getting rid of their compensation plan, because it won't be one. It'll just be affiliate marketing. The FTC is cracking the down on these MLMs. Modere just closed. I forgot to mention that. There goes another one. They're either closing or changing to affiliate models. They are in a major transition. It's not taking away your 5%. That feels like a major transition right now. This is the beginning of their major transition of flipping to an affiliate only model with no more team. If you are a leader in Scentsy and you rely on your team to make your paycheck, which a lot of top leaders do because that's where a bulk of their paycheck comes from. We've seen it in other videos that I've reacted to. You need to look at getting out because your commissions are going to be taken away from you. Your commissions and your bonuses and whatnot going to be taken away from you overnight very soon by seeing what's happening according to the trends. In my opinion, you're in danger. And also, they've been using the word affiliate a lot more to describe their essential consultant rank. They've never been heavy on that word, and they have been heavy on that word as of late.
Brand new in Europe. So we had unfarmed ground ahead of us, and we had a brand new product. That was a growth engine. And we grew from no sales to about $550 million worth of sales. That tornado of growth meant everybody, including Walmart and Hobby Lobby, got into the game and competed with us with lower priced products. That flattened out that growth. And so what is created is a bit of an S curve. The next growth engine that Scentsy had really came when we innovated our sales process and had LTOs that married up to licenses. And when we had a license and an LTO, that created a lot of energy, and it made it relatively easy for people to sell and make some money. That was another growth engine. And then COVID hit and hypercharged that growth engine. But that growth engine lasted strong as long as there were good movies and television streaming programs.
People were inside their homes.
When people started to go back to their normal life, when movies started to slow down because of the writer's strike, right? Remember there was a writer's strike. And so all the streaming.
That's a totally different market. That's a totally different product. You can't even relate Scentsy to the writer's strike. It's not even in the same realm.
Shows got turned off. All of the new movies got turned off. And so we really haven't, I mean, think about when was the last great Marvel movie? Right?
It's been years.
When was there a streaming show like Mandalorian that caught everybody's attention? Right? It's been a long time. I guess we could have come up with a severance warmer, but maybe that's in the works. But
Disney Snow White thing didn't help our Snow White sales.
Yeah, where there's controversy. So you end up with what was a great pipeline of ideas got turned off. The spigot of good ideas, of good movies to piggyback off got turned off. And so that growth engine is stalled.
All their licensed products. They're blaming their licensed products and their writer's strike for their S-curve. I can't. I'm done. They just blamed Marvel and the writer's strike for their lack of sales. Bro, okay.
So you're feeling like, oh no, I have no hope for the future. That's because right now we're in between growth engines. And because we collectively, consultants took their eye off of doing home parties and selling core Scentsy products because it was much easier to sell licensed products and work on the LTO and work online. So consultants kind of stopped focusing on the core. We at the home office stopped working on the core, right? Because of that, we realized we are in an S-curve dilemma.
But I thought you were good at playing business chess. Wouldn't you know you need to keep working on the core? Orville, what happened?
The innovator's dilemma. And you can Google innovator's dilemma or AI, the innovator's dilemma, and kind of understand what you're experiencing as a Scentsy consultant. Now we're seeing consultants that are doing parties and focusing on the basics are actually doing pretty well. What we don't have is that growth engine that is new, like LTOs were, or like launching a new product or a new company was, but we have them in the works. And so if you can enjoy the community, continue to do the things that have proven to work for 20 years, you're going to have a good time. You're going to make some good money per hour. Maybe not the fun and easy and engagement that would be during the last growth engine or what's coming is the next growth engine, but it's going to come around again. I promise you, we're working on it, but we can't really talk about it ahead of time because it then becomes, it undermines our ability to deliver.
And or you take your eye off the ball.
You're telling these people who bought into your business thinking that they now own a business that you can't tell them the plan because it's not ready yet. And you want them to just trust you. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't even trust my pinky toe at this point in life. And you guys are putting your trust in this person who can't even show you the proof that 80% of their sales comes from outside of Scentsy consultants? Come on.
Yeah. So we have to be a little bit non-transparent. And then the other thing is sometimes when we are transparent, people don't trust or don't believe us.
Probably because you don't bring the proof. You just say words and assume everybody's going to believe you.
And so they're saying, well, what's the real story? I'm like, no, that is the real story. But it doesn't seem like the real story. And so part of it, we have to be somewhat secretive to help the plans come into place. Some of it, we have to do something, see what your reaction is to know what our next step is. So we really can't explain.
What secret would you have to keep to help a plan come into place? What secret? Why would you have to keep it a secret? It doesn't make any sense to anybody that is not fully brainwashed in this cult-like community.
Because if we do, then that'll affect the real story. So it might cause us to make the wrong second step. Right. So there's all kinds of reasons, but we're not doing it to try to hide from you. And we're not hiding like big, dark secrets. Scentsy going to be fine. We're not in a debt situation. Nobody has, nobody can threaten us out of business.
You're not in a debt situation, but Heidi said multiple times while everybody was talking about layoffs and trouble that you guys are in the same boat. You're struggling the same way as in Scentsy. Which is it? Why do you think these people can't believe you? You contradict yourself 175,000 times on a Facebook Live. So how are they going to believe you when you try to throw facts at them with no proof and then tell them to look it up on ChatGPT? This is why people can't trust you.
Nobody can tell us what to do.
Thank goodness.
We just need to execute. And once we start executing, it'll show up in a few months. And I'll tell you, the team has been executing over the last few months.
We have a
just
good
to see
team.
it.
We have a really good team together right now. So, okay. So somebody says, oh, so we can thank Grace for all the awesome new videos.
At least her team. Yeah.
It's not Grace. That's the videography team. She's not on the videography team, but we will tell the videography team.
And that's something really important. A lot of times we hear when things are wrong.
Yeah.
Or you know, when there's a
So I
problem.
love that. Yeah.
We love when you say, spot on, keep doing this. We need more of that.
Awesome videos.
If we get
We'll
more
tell
of those types of that kind of feedback, then we can invest in that type of work. So if you like something, make sure you let social media and us know that too.
Should we have any concern about Scentsy potentially moving to an affiliate only model?
I don't know.
I don't know. If it wasn't an immediate no, read between the lines. I can't. Let's hear what else he has to say. I didn't see this part yet.
What I mean by that is, all the advantages of an affiliate model
So far, yeah.
currently exist with the 20 to 30% commission that you can earn selling product. The fact that you have an opportunity to build a team is an addition, and it's not a subtraction. All we are is a affiliate company with an opportunity to lead and or recruit and lead a team.
Making you a multi-level marketing company. You're not just an affiliate company with the opportunity to build a team. And this is why I'm saying read between the lines, because they have never talked like this before. And I get that they have to switch their verbiage for marketing and whatnot, but this is different. This is different. Affiliate marketing is different than MLM marketing. So them finally saying that they have an affiliate side, but they also have a recruitment side, is them, first of all, saying the quiet part out loud, that they are an MLM. And secondly, that they're helping and priming their audience to be more comfortable with the word affiliate. Why? Because in my opinion, that's all that's going to be left of Scentsy. There will be no more opportunity to build a team as well. It will just be affiliate. They are priming their audience. This is what real marketing looks like. They start using the words they want you to be comfortable with so that they can get you back in. I don't know if this specific marketing theme is in the video, but I have a whole video that I did way back on dark marketing, and this is giving dark marketing vibes. It is something that marketers use, and in my opinion, it's a little deceptive and yucky. And I gave some examples of how Body did this before they switched to only affiliate. Look at that. I'll link that video in the description. This feels something like that, where they are getting their audience more comfortable with hearing the word affiliate and affiliating Scentsy with the word affiliate. Why do you think that is? They are preparing for this big shift.
And instead of making more profits, we are taking some of the profits that we would make if we were simply an affiliate company and paying that to uplines that have built and trained teams.
But it's their own business. Their teams are told to believe that this is their own business, but somehow they're getting paid on their team and their recruits and so on and so forth. That is so interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of affiliate models, they pay the same commissions as a direct selling company, but they make all the profits of the upline and the company, where we'll just take ours and we'll give the upline their due because they built this company.
I would say that we might look at a hybrid program. We just went to the direct selling news, or he did, and that might be something that we look at doing.
Well, I think what she means by that also is, how do we explain what we do, right? How we communicate our compensation plan is one thing. What our compensation plan allows us to do is another. So
yes,
we could say an essential consultant is now called an affiliate or an influencer. By just a name change, you now are operating exactly like most affiliate companies,
and getting a percentage. Yeah.
Right. But you're not changing the compensation plan or diminishing the opportunity. Yeah. So we're open to ideas like that. But what we're not planning on doing is taking money out of the compensation plan from consultants in order to enrich ourselves. I hope that makes sense. And that's super clear.
Okay, what would you say is a response to people saying the wax formula has changed and the scents aren't lasting as long, even if they switch to a totally different scent?
Oh boy, we've been hearing this for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
And what's interesting is we heard it so much that we started to figure out tests to make sure that we're honest when we say it hasn't changed. And I can look you straight in the eye. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed.
Well, something has, because I pointed it out in another recent video that a lot of people have noticed a change, and I am one of those people. And I don't use Scentsy anymore, but I used it for a very, very, very long time, way before I even started selling Scentsy. And I can confirm that scents that I was warming from the beginning had definitely stopped lasting as long in my warmers. So maybe it's their warmers that are changing if it's not the wax.
Every fragrance will have a strength, a relative strength to another fragrance. Some are just knock your socks off strong. Some of them are not. Our noses change based upon weather, based upon how we're feeling,
age,
yeah. Right? So
blame everybody's nose. It's your nose's fault.
Sickness.
There are so many factors about what we perceive as a fragrance, but in terms of the amount of fragrance oil, the composition of the fragrance oil, the chemistry of the wax, all of that has stayed the same since we started. Now, some changes might have come about when we went from hand pouring to machine pouring, and as we got more consistent. But that was so long ago, none of you remember what a fragrance before the machines smelled like.
Or what they look like. The bars looks different.
Does that make sense?
Okay, how soon can you guys be called back on another mission?
Fortunately,
never.
Yeah. I don't know.
Most likely would never happen because they would give that opportunity to other people so that they can go.
Yeah.
It seems the formula has changed. I can't see that word.
In the sense after COVID?
Is there a reason why?
Yeah,
It's not lasting as long.
we completely understand your sentiment and that this is your experience.
Haven't changed a thing.
That it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Right. Anosmia is a thing. How our noses respond to the stimulus of fragrance is a thing. So just like the more, when you first get exposed to Scentsy and you first start warming things in your home, your nose is pretty, you've got a virgin nose. Over time, it gets worn in. You get a tolerance to fragrance as a whole.
And that is called anosmia.
Yeah, your brain turns off the stimulus because it's been super stimulated. And so I think that's the common experience. Another virgin nose is going to perceive it as yours did, even though your nose is no longer perceiving it the same way. And so that is a reality of Scentsy, that people's perception of the fragrance does wane over time, but I can promise you that it has not changed in formula or concentration.
Lauren, I love yours. You say, I understand frustration people experience with sales and not minimizing their experiences, but we literally had record-setting sales during the state fairs last fall.
Yes.
Here's the thing with vendor events. The consultants at state fairs and big events like that are always going to do good because most of the time they have a ton of inventory because they've been in for so long. Because to get into these vendor events, you have to be the first Scentsy consultant that got into that vendor event. Essentially, most vendor events will invite back the vendors that they have had previously, as long as they were a good experience, and they get first dibs. So if there is a Scentsy consultant that was at a state fair or any kind of big vendor event the year previously, they're going to get re-invited. With that said, the consultants who have been in longer are likely the ones that you see at these big vendor events that have been going on for years, that have a good turnout and have people ready to spend money. And that's why their sales are going to be so good, because they have the inventory and they have been going there so long. Additionally, if a consultant is invited to these vendor events and they cannot make it, they will ask a team member that is local to them to do the vendor event instead. And they will offer up their inventory if they don't have it. So just somebody having having a great experience with sales at the state fair last year, it doesn't mean that Scentsy is going to be fine and it's not going to flip to affiliate and they're not struggling like every other MLM company out there or any business right now, really. And it doesn't minimize or even come close to minimizing the fact that people are having a hard time selling Scentsy right now.
Consultant, I won't share her name, but a lot of you would know who she is. And was it the last downturn or was it since we've been back? I can't even remember. But she talks about how all these consultants would say, oh, my numbers are down, my numbers are down, my numbers are down. And she said, my numbers were not down. That's just who I am. And I made sure to set goals for myself and my numbers were not down. And so, kind of the same thing that Lauren is saying, that there are people whose numbers are down and we know that. But there are also those whose numbers are not. And so.
Yeah. There will always be times in the business cycle of Scentsy
like this. Yeah.
Where sales are easier.
Yes.
But there's not yet been a time where sales were impossible. And I think the experiences like what Lauren had, when you're at a neutral site where it has really nothing to do with the effort that you're putting in, you're at a show.
Plus, you're making it easy for people to get Scentsy because you're there. So
yeah, I mean, when you're that, you actually see the demand of the product, and the demand of the product is still strong. It is what the challenge is right now is overcoming the barriers to getting the product to people, right? And I'll tell you, there's been a lot of success of consultants getting back to the home party. That said, there are also other ways to, we're not saying we're a home party only company.
Okay.
But we can't deny the fact that home parties are being effective for people, and effective for younger people. There's a lot of, anecdotes out there that Gen Z is not interested in home parties, but they're 28. They've never had one, right? If you present it right, you'd be surprised at the types of experiences people are interested in.
Not to speak for them, but we all were trapped in our homes during COVID, but they especially had in their younger age, trapped in their homes.
High school, their high school years got messed up.
And so the thought of inviting people over into their homes, it's just not a thing for them. They're I do not want to be trapped in my home again. So
but that's a definition of a party that is maybe too strict or too
Why is this moving so much? Are they just letting the cat rub up against the computer? I feel like I need Dramamine right now.
Answering questions, but we also know that we can be boring. So if you want to close things out, Kelly, if we're just holding everybody, or if we just want to let everybody go and whoever wants to stay on for 10 more minutes.
Is this your team meeting then? Do you do this weekly?
For me, actually, this is a whole group of people that were are under Jennifer until tomorrow. And then I will be their SSD. And so this has been a time for them to get to know me just a tiny bit and then to hear from you all.
Which means this was Jennifer's SSD. So it's just rolling up to her. She just acquired this massive team.
And just to build that community and to keep that going that they are so used to. So I do plan on doing this more and more often. Okay. So I hope that answers that.
Yeah. Well, I hope you got some value out of this.
I got a ton of value out of this. Did you?
This was really more of let's pretend we're sitting around the table and you're asking us questions, and
let's
get into our minds and where we're at and identify if you like what you see and you have trust in us moving forward. I can tell you we've been doing this for a long time, but we still have the fire in our belly.
Omeprazole helps with that, or Tums. Just Tums will work.
There is no way that we're going to work as hard as we have and let Scentsy go out with a whimper. It's going to be back. It's going to be back soon, and it's going to be a great ride, and we want you to be a part of it.
I was going to say add to that too, or quit, give up because we had a top leader decide she needs to go somewhere else. We're here for the long haul. So
we're not going anywhere. We'll be brokenhearted if you do. If you feel like you must, reach out so we can help you. And if this is truly not for you, we will do our very best to see you on your way in a healthy way, because like I said earlier, we love you more than what you do for us.
You can't just say you love somebody, Orville. I love all of you like you're my children. I just hate when people just walk around being like, I love you. I love you. I love you all. It's weird. We need to come up with a different way of saying, like, I appreciate the out of all of you, but I don't know you enough to drop the L-bomb.
Thank you both. Thank you so, so much for taking the time to be on here. And I know after 17 years and being with you all for 17 years, how genuine you are, how much you care for us, how much you love us. And there's so much noise all around us these days that I really felt compelled to, try to pull this together tonight. And I'm just so thankful that you all had the time and you were able to get on here. And Hobo was a huge surprise and I think stole the show.
Thank you. And we will say the same about Kelly. All of you are in wonderful hands with Kelly. She's an amazing leader. And so we have no worries there, and you shouldn't either.
And I can't wait to see you all again. And those we haven't met, I can't wait to meet you.
SFR.
Yes, I'll get to see you at Summit, and I'm so excited that I get to go this year and get to see you all. So,
okay, bring up questions. Maybe we'll jump off, and the rest of you can
any questions?
Express to them, to your superstar directors who are going. Any other superstar directors coming to Summit?
I think Sherry and Lauren are coming.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So, let them know concerns you have, questions that you have. Let them bring them to us, because we have a closed door meeting with our superstar directors where they can say whatever they want and tell us whatever they want and pepper us with whatever
questions. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what's in the room stays in the room. So Heidi and
I wonder if they have to sign an NDA.
We buckle down and pucker up and we take whatever they give us and give us the best we can. And by the end of it, we have really good solutions to the deepest problems of the company. So if you've got any issues at all, talk to them so they can bring it.
Yep.
Because the better they bring it, the faster we solve problems.
Anything. Yep.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Wait. Courtney says she loves Hobo. Can I get your address? I might send them to you because we got hair all over this table and it's grossing me out.
See the table now. You would not love him. Bye. We love you.
He is the coolest cat there is, though. Bye-bye. Take care.
I love you.
Oh my God, that was long. I think I've said everything I need to say. Just if you're a current Scentsy consultant and you are curiously watching this or even hate watching this, please have an open mind and listen to people outside of the organization. This is bad. This is not looking good. I will leave it there. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.